Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Cryptid Conversations. I'm Caster MJ with Caster's Corner. Along with me are my two co-hosts, Deadly.
Hello.
And the One-Eyed Crow.
Good afternoon.
So I just want to let everybody know that this podcast, our Discord, and our competitive team, we are all sponsored by Immortal Workshop. You'll be able to access his website in the description down below. That is an affiliate link. Or you could just go to immortalworkshop.com and use code Caster's Corner at checkout, and that will let Immortal Workshop know that you came from us. We got a very exciting episode, I think, this week, guys. This week we're going to just be talking about some deck building at first, how a deck is structured, things like that. And then later in the episode, we're going to do a little pack battle for you guys with some Hiroquest. But first off, I just wanted to start out and let everybody who's new know that Deadly and myself, we've been playing the game competitively for a little bit of time now. The One-Eyed Crow is a little bit newer in the game. He's been collecting the game for a while now. Deadly and myself did partake in the Caster's Cup, and Deadly did make it to the top 32.
Yeah.
I did not play so well. I did not do so well, and I'm not too upset about it, though. I had fun, but we do have a little experience playing the game. We've learned a lot through our experience in playing the game, and we just thought maybe we'd share some of our experience with you guys about how we structure our decks and things like that. So I actually want to start off with Ian first and see currently where he is at with deck building and what his process might be like, since he is a little newer into it. So, yeah. Ian, go ahead.
Yeah, so my first deck was built just after UFO came out. Obviously, we've been talking about that a lot. My first time I played really was the UFO release event.
Yeah.
And the way that I decided to approach it was not to copy somebody else's deck, per se. I wanted to build something myself. It's part of what I really enjoy. So what I did was actually I went on to Caster Society's spellbook lists, and I looked up Easton's winning spellbook for Caster's Cup.
Yeah.
And then I picked it apart. Not necessarily, I wasn't building a lightning spellbook, but the ratios of 1-drop beasties and 1-drop spells and higher drop beasties and spells, the ratio of auras and all of that, and then I compiled that into a list, a deck template essentially.
Yeah.
And then built from there. Obviously subbing some stuff where it made sense, but that worked really well for me with my first spellbook, my dark spellbook.
So if you don't mind sharing, do you have in front of you maybe a little breakdown of kind of what that was that you took notes of, and maybe how it was structured?
Yeah, so the notes that I have for aura, it was 8 basic aura, 2 prisms, and then 2 aura effects or essences, depending on what you're playing, if you're playing dual aura or single. And really, if you're playing single, you don't really need the prisms, but they're expensive, so I play them.
They work.
They work. You need to get your money's worth. Depending on the deck that I'm playing, 2 Terra, 2 potions, and then for spells is really where it starts to kind of break up on the aura costs here. The ratio that I have for my template is 4 1-drop spells, 1 2-drop spells, 3 3-drop spells, 2 4-drop spells, and a 6-drop spell. So, you want some lower cost ones so you can get some spells out early game to react and whatnot, but you also want some heavy hitters there. I believe it's a 6-drop is Evil Winds is what I used in my dark deck.
Yeah.
And then for beasties, it's a lot heavier on the lower aura costs. So the template I have is 4 1-drops, 3 2-drops, 2 3-drops, 3 4-drops, and really those are interchangeable, the 3 and the 4-drops, depending on the deck you're playing and the beasties you want to play. and then a 5 or a 6 drop. So whatever your heavy hitter is for your spellbook.
Yeah. Deadly.
And that I believe that's a 40 card deck, if I remember correctly as well.
What are your thoughts on that? Do you agree with kind of where his head is going with that like template, or where? Because I think he did something that I never did in the beginning, which he was actually paying attention to like aura costs and stuff.
That's super important.
So I agree. So yeah, let me like what do you think about what he just shared?
Did you put aura in it? You just were like, I'm gonna throw in all these beasties.
No aura.
He started with the aura.
Okay. So I agree with that template for the most part, but with that being said, don't limit yourself to keeping to that template, because each spellbook is going to be built differently, and it's going to require different parts of the spellbook to be in certain order. So maybe you want lower one drops, and it really depends on the utility. So, but for the bases, yes, I like that template. That one's for lightning. Correct, right? His caster.
That's what
deck.
it was. Yeah, that's what it was based off of. It worked pretty well for dark, but when you look at like cosmic with the grays, obviously it had to be modified quite heavily.
Yeah.
When you get into different aura types, you look at different amount of aura you need, how many low costs you want, and for the most part, the template looks pretty good. You have a set amount of aura. I usually range it around from 8 to 12. That includes sometimes usually the aura facts and the aura essences. Then I run into around 10 beasties. Well, so 10 low drops, and then my major big ones that I equal to about 4 or 5. I equal about 15 beasties in total. I usually have 6 1 drops. I add in, depending, it's a combination, 5 1 drops, 4 1 drops. Sometimes I'll have an added 2, like utility cards, because a lot of the cards do a lot of different things. So I like to have like 10 lower cost beasties, and when I say lower cost, I say from 1 to 3.
Right.
And maybe even add a couple 4s in there. That's where it fluctuates. Is like where that line of like maybe I have 8 1 drops or 8 low drops, and then I have like 6 of or 6 or 7 7. Sorry, for 15. Go ahead.
I personally feel like, just based off of my experience, that they start becoming high drops at that 4 mark for some reason.
Yep.
It's like it's real easy for me to get like 1, 2, and 3 drop beasties or spells out there, but once I get to that 4, sometimes that thing's in my opening hand and I can't play it until my closing play. You know. You know.
I think that partially comes down to what you're accepting as a starting hand for how many aura you have. So I won't accept anything that's anything less than 2 aura, say, for my starting hand. So my 1 and 2 drops are pretty much guaranteed to get out if I have them.
Yeah. And one thing I picked up, and for some reason it stood out to me when you were saying your little template, is that you said 2 potions. I thought that was a very interesting number for some reason, because I feel, for me, most of the time I play 0. That's just.
I find it hard to categorize.
The other people I know who play, but then the other people I know who play potions, they have like 5 to 10 in there usually, or something like that.
Well, they're all 0 costs, right? So they're all 0 costs. So you're guaranteed to be able to play them. And typically, depending on what you're going against or what you're using, there's incredibly useful spells. So typically, I'll run Lightning in a Bottle as my base. Okay, these are the 2 potions I'm going to put in, and then I'll side deck some other ones that might make sense depending on who I'm playing or the deck that I'm playing.
Yeah. I feel like the 3 most played ones right now are Lightning in a Bottle, Smoky Spirits, and Toxic Waters. I'm sorry. and all three of them are very super playable. But I feel like I would be the one person that falls under like that 2 number because the two are in my side deck or something like that.
Bubbling brew is a potion, I believe. Or is it boiled? It's bubbling brew. That's a potion. That's a staple for a side deck for gumbaroos and everything.
Now, one thing Deadly pointed out too is that like every deck is going to be different. It depends kind of like what you're building around. I've had some very weird decks that I've built where like they will never follow that template, but like we were saying, I think that for a baseline to start, I think that's an awesome little template actually. And like I said, it was ahead of my time building decks to start out with because we started with those theme decks. And it was a theme deck, not a release event deck, but they have like 16 aura in them or something.
They're built ridiculous amount of aura.
Yeah. So we were kind of using that as a guideline, and like those are not meant for more competitive play.
No.
Well, I mean, so I ratio 1 to 4. If you have 10 aura, you should have what? 4 cards, or so basically if you have 40 cards. And if you have 10 aura in it, then you should be pulling what? 3 cards per aura. So in 7 cards, you should have 2 aura in it out of the 7 cards you pull on the first hand. So if you do with that ratio, that's like the basis. And then when you start adding in the extras, that's when you start throwing that ratio off. And that's where you play into how heavy is the cost of your spellbook. Can you add those extra couple cards and still be able to pull aura and play your cards?
Yeah.
I never really thought about that though. That if you're going to add more, it's the starting ratio that I use is about 1 to 3. So for every 3 beasties I add in, I should add another aura. Because I have had, I think my biggest spell book is around 46 pages.
So for 46, I mean it's.
I was gonna ask that next.
12.
Like, what do you guys think like size wise of a spell book, and what do you think it should be around? What do you think is too much, and is there too little, essentially? I always run more than other people suggest. So Deadly, what are your thoughts on size?
So I always immediately, as soon as I see somebody and they have over, I want to say like 43 cards in a spell book. I mean, when you come at me and you're running 50 cards, I'm like, this guy's not pulling what he's gonna pull, like what he has to pull. It's gonna be random, and then if you lose to it, you get really upset because there's so much in there. So 40 cards is a great baseline. I mean, obviously that's the minimum you can have in there, but 40 cards really brings you to a point of getting cards out, having the mechanics work really quickly, but having more cards, I'm guilty of this. I've made a test deck with 45 and it ran really well for the first 3 games. And then I ran right into a hole, and I couldn't draw aura, or I was drawing too much aura, and I just felt it happens with all spell books for the most part. But the larger your spell book is, the more chances you have to not pull what you want. So that's why actually people will put in what's the green draw? I think it's potion.
Exquisite Stew.
Yeah, Exquisite Stew. So people actually put 2 of those in their spellbook. I think it's 2 per spellbook to actually thin their deck even smaller. Because if you put those 2, those are just automatic draw cards. It'll make it basically a 38 card deck. So some people aim to make them smaller, which is actually an interesting fact.
So Ian, what are your thoughts on the size of spellbooks? Does size matter?
Why'd you have to do me like that?
His answer has to be yes, right? Yes, it does.
What was the question? No, I think size does matter depending on what you're playing. So again, I go back to the gray spellbook, obviously, because that's where my experience is with Cosmic. You want that to be as small as possible because you want to be pulling those grays one out after another. Or, using the grays to pull out the Terras so you can then maybe try to get that UFO win con. So you definitely want, with grays, or any kind of mill deck, right, that you're trying to get beasties out quick, you want as small as possible.
Yeah.
I don't... there's definitely too big, because as Deadly's saying, the bigger your deck is... I can't. This is...
Spellbook, right?
Thanks, MJ.
It's
the bigger your spellbook is. There we go. The less likely you're going to pull what you need or what you need to react to a situation. But if you can build a deck where that doesn't matter necessarily, if you have a lot of versatility and you're not banking on, having a certain combination, then I feel like a bigger spellbook is going to be okay. But you're focusing a little less on the tech of the spellbook in that case.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I've built a number of different decks, and the ones that always have been a little more consistent have been the ones that are, for me, 42 cards to the 40 card, like in between there. And then another like successful one will be like 43 or 44 if it's dual aura for me. But if I'm doing single aura, that 43, 44, it starts to get a little sketchier, I feel like, and a little less consistent. But there have been a few decks where I built. The one that's coming to my mind is Flame for some reason. Mm-hmm. And I built a Flame deck not recently, not since UFO. It was with the Wilderness set, I believe. And it was mainly big beasties. Father Sam was in there, Piazza Bird was in there. I think both Piazza Birds were in there, actually, the Walmart one. It was like Iowa Dragons. I had no like Foofalettes, no Rabbits, no any like 1-drop or 2-drops. Like they were all pretty much big beasties. And like you were saying, that one was kind of just like a bunch of spells and then big beasties. And that one, it was very versatile. I could kind of do a bunch of different things with that deck because I did not have these 1-drop beasties, honestly. That kind of made it so I could kind of do multiple different things. And that deck was like 45 cards, and it functioned very well just because I was just burning people left and right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, now there's this big-ass beastie out there that you got to deal with, So I think it kind of does depend, again, on the deck build. But for me, if I'm just going like competitive and consistent, I like to keep it to, honestly, my number is 42. A lot of people want to say just that 40. I say, test the waters and do what works for you. I feel comfortable with 42 for some reason, and that's on average what I run. My Grays deck is 40 though, just like you were saying, Ian. That one does need to be as small as possible.
As small as possible, yeah. So you guys have more experience looking at competitive spellbooks than I do. When you look at competitive spellbooks, things that are winning tournaments, are they typically closer to the 40 range?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I will say, I think a bunch of them, though, have been over the 40 mark, and I will say you'll see like a 41, 42 again, usually.
Yeah. They're always closer to the 40, though, when 40 to 42.
Yeah. I don't think you've seen one that's like 44 win yet. I think they've all been 40, 41, 42, But I will say a lot of those decks do surprise me, too, with what they throw in there. And that's probably why they're winning. So it's always...
There's some curveballs.
Yeah, so I always look at any deck that's winning. I'm not a person, like you mentioned, I don't copy people's decks and net deck, but I use them to know what I might be going up against, sort of a thing. So I always look at the winning decks and stuff just to see how they're structured, and it just helps me learn the game more and know what I might be up against in the future, so I know how to prepare to win against those decks.
Absolutely.
I did want to ask another question though about deck building. Are there any cards that you guys see that are in every single deck, that need to be in every single deck, that should be in every single deck, that are in every single deck, that type of thing?
Absolutely.
Ian, what's your thoughts on that? Are there any of those cards, and if there are, what are they?
Obviously there's two that come to mind, which is First Anniversary Celebrations and New Year's New Beginnings. A lot of versatility there, especially with First Anniversary Celebrations being able to take away the traits, which can actually hurt you as well. So, you need to play it at the right time and make sure that you're not kind of screwing yourself over on that as well. Yep. And then New Year, New Beginnings is the same thing. You can play it at a great time. You can play it at a horrible time. You can actually help your opponent if they don't have a lot of cards in their hand. My favorite time actually playing that card was against Immortal. What's the new card in the release event decks that allow you to, if you go second, you draw 3? What's that one called?
Patient Insight.
And Patient Insight. He had done that twice, and then New Year's New Beginnings him, so just wiped out all of his draws. It was great.
Really nice.
So, it was like turn 3 too, so it was great.
Nice.
I'm a horrible person. Anyway, those are two that I see pretty consistently in spellbooks, competitive and casual.
Yeah.
Deadly. What are the cards you see, or what are the ones that you use actually in every single one of your decks?
I agree with Ian. Absolutely. First Anniversary, main deck, side deck, depending on what your build is, because I didn't actually want to play First Anniversary in the main deck for my Caster Cup spellbook. It was light, and a lot of the light beasties had Spirit. All of them did. Flying, magic proof. And the last thing I wanted to do was take away all the traits of my beasties. In hindsight, strategic placement, but that's why I had it in a side deck. And then, what is it? New Year's New Beginnings. I always run that. I don't ever run New Beginnings because, like I said for the previous, strategically and timed right, you can really put yourself ahead. You bring up playing Immortal. I played Swifty last night, 3 games. It was last night or 2 nights ago. Played him 3 games in a row. Within the first 2 turns, one of us played New Year's New Beginnings in each game. And I lost every single one. And I kept getting so mad because I was like, well, dude, we just New Year's New Beginning. I threw away 2 aura and all my hand. Like, it just circumstantially had to play out. He did it twice. I did it once. Yeah. But those are great cards. And those are game changers, swings. I would add to that list, me personally, this is a personal choice, Power Up Red. And the reason behind Power Up Red is it is basically a 3-drop neutral beastie for 100. 100 LP, 100 attack. That's the way I look at it. As long as you can attach it to something, which it could be a token, it could be anything. It could be any beastie out on the field. As long as you have a beastie.
King of Power Up Redding a token, dude. That is Deadly's signature move. Power Up Red a token.
It's a distraction because all my other cards are going to be doing something else, and I don't want you necessarily to target it. So I need to put up a distraction, and 100 LP, 100 attack beastie token is going to distract you.
Yeah, it's trouble.
So I always recommend it's a 3-drop. I stress to you to go find a 3-drop that's 100 LP. Find it. Tell me.
So I'm surprised neither one of you said the card that I'm about to mention. I think it's in every spellbook ever made, and that's Bookmark.
Nope. All right, so I actually was phasing that out in my last deck because it is not necessary. It's not necessarily a necessity, and there are people who will pull it out. Original build of my Spirit, I put in 1 Bookmark and 2 Patient Insights, and then I decided I'm doing 2 Bookmarks and 1 Patient Insight because Patient Insight is a 3 cost. You get to draw 3 if you go second, but it just 1 drop for 2 draw is powerful. I know you're like, I don't care what you say.
I've thrown it in every deck that I have.
It's strong.
I've not built a deck without 2 of those in there yet. And I don't see a reason not to, honestly. Like you're saying, like I could throw a 3-drop in instead, but why would I want to do that?
Well, think about it like,
I guess
one more thing. Think about it like this. When you get to a point where you are playing some deck and you can put title pull in there very comfortably, that's 3 title pulls. It's a one water, 1 neutral. You get to draw 3 automatically. You're drawing 3. Obviously, you don't keep them. You draw 3. If you have full moon active, you're drawing a 4th one, and then you get to keep 2. So for 2 aura, if you have a Terra active, so things along those lines, I'm looking for more draw, more playability. So that one I actually think could potentially replace bookmarks in your spellbook. I could see 2 patient insights and then 3 title pulls, and see what that's a lot of draw.
I think that each aura is eventually going to have its own. Like title pull is the water one. You got bookmark blue for cosmic.
I like that. That's a good one.
It's a great one.
I feel like each one is eventually going to have their own for that. So maybe down the line,
I think you're right.
Bookmark won't be. It depends what deck you're building. There might be one for that deck type of thing.
I agree
but for
with that.
right now, I feel like I just feel like bookmark is necessary. But again, that's just my opinion. You know what I mean? I know people who don't play any of them. You know, I've even heard like in some of the Meta Bros episodes, you know, that what's his name, Moldy Potions is like, yeah, there's no power up red in this, and you know, things like that. So
I get
even
it.
they're doing that stuff.
I get it, but I just don't agree with it because it's like, why would you not?
Dude,
you're trying to get your opponent's life totals to 0, and you are neglecting to put in one of the strongest cards in MetaZoo to date, I think. Our one teammate likes to say, "Power up red wins you games." That's his saying. What did he say?
Yeah, shout out to Tree Block, our teammate. His saying is, "Power up red wins you games." He says it all the time. He's like, that could absolutely win you the game, and it really can. It really can. If you pull that at the right time, and your opponent's got nothing on the field, and you got a bunch of beasties out there, and now you power up red one, odds are you're going to win that game. You're just going to get them down to 0 quicker. You know. So again, yeah, I think power up red is a necessary one also, and again, I don't see me ever taking that out of my spell. Well, not ever. I'm not saying ever. I'm in the near future. I don't see me taking that out of my spell books. Now, I do have one last question about, you know, deck building, unless, like, you guys have anything that you want to touch on after, and it's what makes you guys, like, build a deck? Do you find, like, a new beastie, and then you want to build a deck around that? Do you come up with, like, a combo in your head of something that you want to do with different aura types or something like that? Do you see like a spell and you're like, damn, that spell, I need to see if I can make that spell work and build a deck around that? I just want to know kind of your creative process in the deck building. So the One-Eyed Crow, I know you built that little template that you shared with us, but like what maybe influenced you to build that first, you know, dark deck?
Because I wanted to.
Wants and desires make you do a lot of things.
It's true. The first one was dark, and it was really building it around Houston Batman. So that one was, okay, I have this one card that I think is really cool, really powerful. You know, it has the fear, the ability to damage other beasties and keep them on the field instead of send them back to the hand, the ability to keep re-triggering that fear, the ability to, you know, if you have a tree for a fourth wall effect or bonsai tree or whatever you're using, that it gets invisible, so there's some added benefits there, which pairs really well with Devil of Coas County, which is my local cryptid. So that first deck was really around Houston Batman, and then it was building out to say, okay, well, its effect is really strong with fear. What other beasties can I put into that? It's Wendigo is the next one, right? And Wendigo also can reactivate his fear. Then you have all of these other beasties that are dark with fear, and I tried to focus on fear and flying just to make it a little harder to hit these beasties. After that, I don't think I ever built another spellbook that was around a single beastie. Typically, I build more around an effect that I want to work towards or learn more or whatnot.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so my spirit deck is probably the one that I want to work on the most, and with Seance coming out, I'm hoping to actually make it really usable because it wasn't too strong. But Sleep was the next one that I really wanted to play with, and okay, let's get these beasties on the field, my opponent's beasties, and sure, I'm not removing them, but I'm making it so they fall asleep, which it doesn't come off at the end of round or start of round, right? It's not like burn or poison where it just comes off automatically. You actually have to find a way to remove it. Yeah. So in order to remove it, the caster, your opposing caster, needs to essentially think ahead and have a way to remove it, which not everyone's going to do. So yeah, you're going to have some spellbooks that you're going against that, maybe that first round, they have something, but most of them, at least from what I've seen, don't have a way to counteract sleep. So more often than not, I think you're going to win the first round until they can side deck something in to help with that. That's pure speculation. I don't fully know if that's true, but that's my feeling on sleep.
That's a pretty educated guess for the most part.
Yeah. So any decks after that first one has really been more around trying to learn a trait better or finding an effect that I feel is somewhat powerful that I don't really see too often, I guess.
Gotcha. Now, Deadly, how do you go about your creative process of deck building there?
So, very similar to Ian, I don't choose beasties for the most part, unless the beastie has an awesome contract ability that does some OP stuff, or has a power that I fatigue for that really just dictates how the game is going to be going. So I like finding little mechanics on the cards, on the beasties, and how they interact with each other. So I'll pair up usually one or two cards and see, okay, well, this one is going to play really well off of this one. So, for example, Cosmic, A-Rods, and Dark Watchers. Those pair phenomenally together. So you basically will fatigue Dark Watchers to look at the top three, and then you will choose either an Aura, a Terra, and take it and then put it in your chapter. The rest of them you put in any order you want. Then A-Rods, you fatigue and you reveal the top page of your spellbook. And if it's a beastie, which you basically have the choice to put the beastie there, you can take A-Rods, you can put it back in the bottom of your spellbook, and then you can awaken any cosmic beastie on your arena, on your side. So you can basically use it as a lightning in a bottle. You can use it as a reawakening for an effect or power. You can do Dark Watchers again. I like it for the idea of speeding up UFO. I mean, Dark Watchers is grabbing Terra, and if you can do 8 rods and you can do it twice in a turn, that may be 2 Aura or 2 Terra that you get. You're just one step closer to that 3 Terra win con. So usually I will take dynamics between cards, whether that be a beastie and a spell, an artifact and a spell. 2 beasties together. That's usually it's usually a combination of something together.
No,
and we're already seeing with these seance teases this week too that we're getting multiple cards coming that are going to play off existing cards. The one today was what was the name of it? Deadly.
Casey Jones.
Casey Jones, right? Which plays with the Ghost Train.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. So I'm wondering, how is the Aura advantage going to work for these dual Aura?
So that's funny. On the card, it actually does have. So after Cryptid Nation and Nightfall, I believe, they started really trying to advertise the powers, the Aura type advantage. So they started really making sure that I believe they were on the bottom for the actual card Aura type advantage, and then near the attack for the double, so for the attack type advantage. So they really started putting those on there. So what I see on the card, Casey Jones, is very straightforward, the opposite to each aura type. That's what I see. So if you look at Casey Jones, it's fire and it's spirit. Cosmic, it is strong against dark for the spirit. Flame is strong against forest. And then I believe light is in there as well. Is there a light in there? And I believe light is cosmic, not cosmic, but spirit is strong against light, I believe, as well. I'm just going to double check that.
So there's going to be
it's frost.
multiple stuff.
It's frost, which would fall under flame.
Damn. So that's okay.
I am curious how that's going to work. You know, we know one of the theme decks we're getting, the love theme deck, is water earth. But water is weak to lightning and earth is strong against lightning. So how does that trifecta play in? Do they cancel each other out?
Wasn't water strong against earth?
Yeah, but it's a water earth deck. So theoretically there's going to be at least one beastie that is dual aura water earth. What if it's going against electric? Right? Is it both strong and weak against electric?
I see what you're saying. Lightning. It's all kind of speculation, really, at this point on what they do with their aura type advantage, because you can only reverse it, and because it doesn't show your weaknesses, it only shows your aura type advantage on the cards. It doesn't really tell you the weaknesses. I think one or two of the cards actually will say, like, no, actually, I don't think it does. I think it usually only says it's strong. But it's interesting because I don't know what it.
The whole reason I'm bringing this up, even though, is because I just wanted to bring up that if I'm not playing in like a caster cup type of setting, a lot of the time people who are running these tournaments are running set Terra tournaments, meaning, you know, maybe it's nighttime and it's raining out or something like that, and we can't destroy those Terras. There are times where I will, for those types of tournaments, build my deck specifically with aura type and advantage in mind. And that is like the only time pretty much I stray away from, like Deadly was talking about, building my decks around mechanics and like card interactions and stuff like that. But the perfect example is I think it was a Purple Elf Productions Invitational that we were playing in back in the day, and it was like sewer alligators were basically active. You know, it was city no matter what, and everybody was playing, you know, water decks with sewer alligators, and I very badly, and I think somebody ended up doing it, wanted to play a lightning deck, because I'm like, everybody's going to be playing water, let me just build a lightning deck. And I ended up not doing it, and I ended up losing the first round, I'm pretty sure. And and I'm pretty sure that one that went to the finals that round, that tournament, was a lightning deck. I'm pretty sure like I didn't win, honestly, but I'm not remembering the details exactly, so I apologize to anybody that was in there that's watching this. But you know, that's something that like I will do though. For now, Immortals tournaments that I'm doing, for now other people, you know, these tournaments are popping up left and right now, which is amazing. But that is something that I'll keep in mind, and I'll be like, oh damn, so wait, this is in play, this is in play. Everybody's probably going to be building this because this is around both of those things. What can I do that's going to destroy those decks? You know, and I'm the one that kind of tries to like rain on the parade in a way, you know, you know, where everybody's building towards that Terra, towards whatever those fourth walls are or whatever it is, and I might build the complete opposite and against it. And if you guys have not checked out our last episode on Aura, go check that out, because we talk about Aura advantage a lot in that episode.
Yeah.
And I think what you're saying plays into something that Mike had commented on in an interview. I forgot with who after Caster's Cup. It was either Argos or Harley, Epic Tube HD. He was commenting on Blitz and how people weren't necessarily playing to the Terras and the fourth walls that were active. The bonuses weren't big enough to actually make you play
Yeah.
that way.
I mean,
So I think we're going to see a shift over the next year with how these pseudo environments work and how these pseudo tournaments work to make it so you basically want to.
I think in that interview he said he was going to make and again, I could be just remembering stuff wrong, but I believe he said he was going to make the Terra bonuses in the future like crazy. So like we kind of have to build around it, you know, like
exactly
kind of like Babe the Blue Ox, how it's like plus 100. They'll pretty much like all be like that apparently. And I think that is something necessary. I mean, Deadly is one of those people who did not change his deck once in the top 32.
When? During the Caster
for
Cup?
top 32.
Oh, no. Yeah, I actually want to comment on that. I want to comment because on the second day, I went with all my cards, was freaking out like in the morning, like putting all these cards together. I brought everything. I literally brought basically all my catalog collection because I had everything good to go. I was prepared. I got there and I was sitting there for the first, like, I don't know what it was, like 20, 30 minutes they gave you to build the deck. And I'm sitting there like trying to figure out, I believe I was at like, Christmas.
I think you were in. I was gonna say Winter Wonderland was your first.
I think
one,
I was in Winter Wonderland, and I had Santa Claus. I think I took my light deck, and I was like, well, okay, I'm gonna use light, and I can put in Santa Claus, and I can throw in I started mixing things up, and messing with my basic constructed deck that I brought for Caster Cup, that got me to the second day. And then I'm playing, and forgive me, this is again, I'm going to say, I'm pretty sure the guy who won Long Beach was the first guy I played. The guy who played Frost, because he played Omnicooks, and he had a Frost deck. And we were talking, and I was like, yeah, man, I couldn't figure out what to do. I could not figure out. It was so hard. It wasn't enough time to build out the deck list and everything. He's like, yeah, I didn't change anything. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I didn't change anything.
It was just ironic. It was just ironic. It was a nice deck.
He told me, I know, it was funny, but he told me that they did all this kind of deck testing beforehand, like a week or two before, and they said they had gone through it over and over, and they said it was more strategic to just keep your deck the same way. You know the deck, you know the dynamics, you don't change anything, unless the type bonus is just crazy, like Babe the Blue Ox or something. And that's a heavy cost beastie. That throws your deck for a loop. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily make it's not going to add too much craziness, and it's a heavy cost. So
now, do you remember how I prepared for Caster's Cup? I think what I
change
did
your deck 4 times.
No, that I did for day one.
Yeah.
But for day two though, I have a deck box that holds like 10 deck boxes, and I had a deck built for each aura type already.
That's a smart move.
I didn't have to. So I didn't have to, if it was one that was really big for Frost and stuff. Bam! I had my Frost deck that I was already
really
kind of comfortable.
It really was
comfortable with in a way.
That really was after you told me that's I think you had told me prior that you had brought that, and I was like, I don't know, dude. I don't know if that's a good idea. And I was like, I'm bringing everything. And then after, in hindsight, now looking at it, you want to have a built deck for every aura type. Potentially, I think that you bring a strong aura type every single time that at least touches every aura type. It can be a cross, it can be a mix, but then you just bring 10. You just bring 10, combination of 10, and then you're good.
The only one I did not bring, and it was because I didn't feel comfortable with it, was I didn't have a dark deck. But I had every other type for me. I had every other type besides a dark deck built. Because at the time, the only dark deck I had was a Grim Reaper deck, and I wasn't gonna play my Grim Reaper deck for $250,000 or whatever. Yeah. So I had I brought with me 8 or 9 fully built decks on top of my Caster Cup deck, so that if I made it to the top 32, and I'm saying, let's say River was a huge bonus or something like that, bam, I had my water deck that focuses on River or something like that, or Thunderstorm, bam, I had my Lightning deck, or he's saying the North Pole type of thing. I had my Frost deck ready to go with snow and winter and all that stuff ready to go. But it was decks that I already constructed. I already kind of was familiar with, whether it was one that I was practicing with every single day or not. It was still something that I felt a little more familiar with than me trying to figure it out with 20 minutes to go, that type of thing. Yeah, that was just something I just wanted to throw out for anybody who's, maybe thinking of going to Caster Cup 2023. Just be prepared, because they are trying to change it up for next year so that we do change up our decks. Mike has a vision and he's not going to sleep until it's done. That's how he is. But yeah, anybody have any other questions or thoughts on deck building on this topic for this week?
I like how we brought up the template. I think a template is a good starting point. You gotta stick to a certain amount of each type of card to really make sure the deck is gonna function correctly. And starting out looking at precons. Precons, when I say not pre-constructed for like theme decks, those are okay. But I'm talking more like constructed, like tournament decks, ones that have been submitted to Caster Society, things that you can see. I know the Dueling Brothers, he puts them out on our Discord constantly. So if you want, you can go to, I believe it's the Spellbook Help he throws out. You can check out there. He has a bunch of deck builds.
And also on their Instagram too, just since we mentioned them, the Dueling Brothers, they also posted up on their Instagram as well, so go check them out. They're real great guys. But Ian, any last thoughts, any questions about deck building, anything?
No, that's really the same, and on top of what Deadly said earlier in the episode, don't be afraid to experiment a little bit. Don't just stick strictly to that template. If there's something you want to try, modify it.
Yeah. Like I even was saying the other night, I was playing Deadly, Tuesday night, I was playing Deadly, and midway through the game even, I was like, I got an idea for a new deck. Like, when you get those ideas, run with them, build that deck, test it out, you know what I mean? You might find something spicy that we haven't seen yet that works great. And it might be a lot of fun,
Yeah.
And so, definitely experiment.
And then tell nobody and win Caster's Cup.
Don't tell anybody. You can tell me though.
All right, so you guys ready to do a pack battle now?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna just fix our cameras and we'll be right back to do a pack battle with some Hiroquest for you guys. All right. All right, guys, and we're back now with our cameras facing down so we can do our pack battle on Hiroquest. So the way we're going to do this is we're just going to each open up a pack. We're going to go one at a time, and we're going to leave it up to you guys to tell us at the end who the winner is. So I think we're just going to start with Deadly, then we'll go to the One-Eyed Crow, and then we'll go to me last. So Deadly, why don't you start us off, my man?
All right, guys, I got one right here.
May the booster gods be with you.
All right. I'm just gonna rip this open too.
I'm excited here.
The anticipation.
Potion Seller.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Nice.
I haven't seen that one yet, I don't think. That's awesome.
Very nice. I haven't seen too many of those be pulled yet.
Thinking, guys.
There you
Nice.
go. Awesome, dude. Ian, you're up.
All right, so I'm going to use scissors because I don't trust myself with single packs. Anytime you cut through that the fold there, I get nervous. As it has that little extra
Yeah.
pressure to it. You're like, oh man, I just cut the card. All right, so let's do this little trick that you did. You sleeved it before you showed it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Centering on the back. Centering on the back isn't too great there, but we'll take it. All right, we have
Oh, nice.
Biofrequency
That
Blast.
one's a beautiful
It's actually
It really is.
really is.
I think it's
Yeah,
actually
Chris
one
did a
of
great
the
job.
best, most colorful looking cards in this little mini set.
Light does
One
a
of the
good
new
job
ones?
at that. Light does
Oh,
a really
yeah.
good job with that.
Goes
No,
well
that's
with the
beautiful.
Kanto.
Yeah, that's awesome.
MJ,
All right.
let's see it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm just a behemoth. I'm just going in. No scissors for me.
Oh god,
Savage.
my anxiety.
All right, we're sleeving it first. That's what we're doing here. That's the way Deadly set this up.
You guys handle your cards however you want to handle them. You want to cut them with scissors?
Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
but
he's
like
going
just-
the extra mile here. He's just going right for the top loader.
Ooh.
Hey!
Isotope.
Oh,
I actually like that
Yeah.
one. I actually bought one of those on Whatnot the other night because I kind of like that one a lot.
yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, Deadly, we're back to you, man.
All right. Number 2.
Straight.
I got one want. Like I don't even want the Mothman. Like if I pull it, fine. But I want Hero. I want Hero.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I want the hero too.
That's what I'm going for as well.
I also
Not
want
easy.
Snipe.
I'm watching a lot of packs being pulled and no one's hitting it. I've not seen anyone pull it live on Whatnot or anything. Power Surge.
Nice.
That one looks cool though. I like that one.
So this one I think
Yeah, I do
actually
like
is
that
pretty cool. Sorry, this isn't focused. I think this one's pretty cool. I just think that it's like a final, like you're trying to add a little extra attack to whatever you're doing to kill something, but it's going to hurt you in the long run. So it's
Yeah.
like, is it worth it? You have to figure out if it's worth it or not.
Ian,
Do it.
let's see.
Let's get some more anxiety here. All right.
I also want that one that's called like 111011101.
Oh yeah, that's a cool
Yeah.
one.
All right. Actually, I want the black pullet ring. I feel would be really
Oh.
good.
Oh, I think
for,
that was actually really good too.
Yeah.
I got one of those when
You get
I
the
was
pull
opening
dark
them.
artifact.
All right. Ready? Appetite for
Appetite
flesh.
That's
I
a
have
dope
seen this one
one.
pulled a fair amount, but it is
I haven't
nice.
seen that one.
Yeah, so this one, until the end of turn, whenever a beastie zombie destroys another beastie, if you whisper fresh meat, you can create a zombie token for 10 LP and 10 damage.
That's awesome. I feel like they did a lot for Dark in this set for some reason.
Yeah, Seance.
I'm happy with it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Seance.
that's true. We're getting
Yeah,
ready for
it's
that.
Spirit,
That's right.
Dark. You might see some good Flame that like. Obviously, we're seeing the Spirit Flame mix.
Yeah, I'm real excited for that, honestly.
What you get? Da-na-na-na.
Boom!
You got a copy.
Another one. Yep. I already have
I don't
two
know
of
about-
these.
I don't know about you, Deadly, but MJ's cards are upside down for me.
Yeah, you're upside down, bro.
Oh no, I'm upside down. How's that? Is that better?
Bam. Yeah, you're good.
That's great. Yeah.
Should have practiced this more, huh? Well, I apologize, guys.
Bro, these packs are just. People don't like the size, and I like how different this is. I really
I think
do.
it's great.
I'm a huge fan of these packs.
I don't get the size, if I'm being honest.
I like it.
No, they go with the CD case, so they fit into the sleeve better.
That makes sense. Okay.
That centering doesn't look that great. Hopefully it's a Hero. Sinkhole Sam. This was actually
Nice.
a
I
really cool
love-
looking one.
I love
Yeah.
that single, yeah.
It's got a
the
snake
artwork on
vibe.
that. Yeah. It reminds me of just playing on my Nokia back in the day.
I feel like this isn't. Oh. If you guys want to see
try to
it,
block out. If you try to block out the background as much as possible,
It's this dude's face, I think.
that usually will help you focus, though.
yeah, it's picking up the background.
Yeah.
So I will say all of the centering on the back of these that I've pulled so far have not been great.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
how my
off.
sinkhole kind of looked a little off too. But
Yeah, they're all a little off. They're all a little heavy on the left for me.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's see it.
Babe, the blue ox,
Babe.
nice.
Babe.
that one's actually a really cool one.
People love Babe.
I do
man.
like this one, the alien babe.
Yeah,
This one has an error that I've seen that's really
I was,
cool.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, the whole
What is
back
it?
half is yellow.
Oh,
It's,
wow.
it's like inverted colors. It's like a couple inverted colors on the body and the eyes, I think, or in the back.
Yeah.
Huh. All right, where is this? And bam. Ooh.
Who gag? Who gag?
Who gag?
Who gag?
MJ
I
does.
have not seen. I have not seen this one yet.
Who gag?
It's that same style of
It's
art though, where
actually-
it's like that.
It's the coolest version of him. Like, look at him, dude. He's just
Oh, yeah,
chilling.
definitely.
He's vibing.
He's
It
got
looks
the
like he's time
sunglasses
traveling,
on.
in my opinion. He's got the 3D glasses like the time traveler would, and then look at the aura that's coming off of him.
I like the little pixelated flower as his tail type of thing. It's like right there. It's just like a little pixelated flower. But I like this like the art that's like even Grim Reaper. That one's like that pixel art type of thing. I like those in this set. I think they're really cool.
The OIO faction.
Yeah.
All right, next one.
Better be a hero.
Bet open.
You got this.
Yeah, let's see it.
Shrieks
Ooh.
from the Crypt.
Yeah. Is that one of the ones you have to be listening to a certain type of music?
Punk music. A lot of them actually
Punk
have
music.
that. A lot of these new artifacts and
makes-
spells.
That really makes sense to me, being that it's a Steve Aoki Hiroquest set that
Sure.
has to do with his music. So I kind of like that some of these have to do with like different types of music and stuff. I feel like it really goes with the set, and I think it was a really cool idea.
So
sure.
are all of the different types, the different genres of music on this single CD? So if I were to play this while playing,
I think
That's
that
a
he
good
was
question.
doing. I honestly think he was doing collabs with artists that do go that way. So
Yeah.
I believe it's kind of something along the lines, because he has collaborations with country artists on here, with rock artists
Yeah.
on here, with rappers on here, with
Taking
all
Back
different
Sundays on
genres.
here, so it's going to be your
Yeah.
rock, yeah.
Yeah, all different genres. Yeah, so I do think it has something to do with that. I think that was just something that was really cool. My only question with that is that going to be kind of like clothing where you do not have to claim it? Is it just something that as long as it's on in the background, you don't have to claim type of thing? So I'm just curious on that, and I'm sure we'll find an answer sooner than later. But I think that's cool.
I claim every genre.
Because you could potentially have like 6 or 7 fourth walls then between your clothes and music and things like that. It doesn't. You're not like limited to just the 4 essentially. I think that's kind of cool. Oh no, let's see it. Let's.
Another appetite for flesh. It's okay.
Oh, no.
It's okay.
Hate to see it.
I would have liked a second babe, but appetite for flesh is good.
Let's see here. Bam.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm okay
Way to
with that
go.
guy.
Windigo.
That's a hit.
That's nice.
That's a beautiful one.
All right. I'm not upset with that.
Well,
And last pack.
can I beat that?
Last pack magic here for Deadly.
I believe in you.
see. Well, there, at least someone does Deadly.
I'm going to get a third appetite for flesh. I can feel it, so you got to win this.
Hero.
Yeah, I hope so. This one's a tough one. Messed
It's
it
gonna
up.
be a hero, and he's bending it.
Yeah, right? Just like ripping this. Doing a horrible job at this.
Oh no.
Oh, sick!
Yes.
snap.
Nice.
That's dope. Good shit,
Oh,
dude.
dude.
That's awesome. That's one of the ones that I want.
That's an awesome card.
Yeah, that is.
So the
an
question
awesome
is,
card.
what is the name of it? Is it 11111010?
Yeah.
1010?
Yeah,
1
and
1
you
with
have to
4
say-
ones, 010.
Is
You have to-
so part of the card, the effect, you have to say the name for it to
Yeah,
as fast as
you
possible.
So as fast as so is it O or 0? Like what is the
0.
official name?
I would say 0, but they may accept O because a
My
lot
thing, though, is
of people refer to
a
that.
a lot of people are going to get caught up in like the tongue twister and not be able to say it right, and you're going to be like, nope, sorry, you can't,
Right.
you have to say it as fast as possible, and you stuttered and you messed it up and you said it wrong. That doesn't count.
You heard it here. Practice at home.
Yeah, for real. Just like that one where it's like if you say this word backward, if you say abracadabra backwards or something like that. I one day was literally practicing saying abracadabra backwards because I knew Deadly had that in his deck.
I don't even know if I could right now. Abracadabra.
Arbidarba
Nope.
carb. No, I don't know.
Arbidarba carb. Arbidarba carb.
I would have to sit and look at it again.
Woolly mammoth.
Ooh, that's not a bad pull.
No, I'm happy with it.
Yeah.
One of the
that
next decks I want to build is Frost. So
that hollow is really nice on that guy too.
yeah.
All right, let's see.
Last one.
Magic.
Will you be our hero, baby?
It's very funny. I had that song stuck in my head too during this little segment. It's an artifact.
What's that?
Is that the Windmanstatten artifact?
Windmanstatten artifact. If you hear white noise nearby, this page
love that.
gains destroyed.
I really hope one of the tracks on this is just white noise. 5 beats.
I
man.
like this actually. Deadly, you're gonna like this too probably. It says destroyed. Dark and cosmic beasties gain poison 1
Poison
on
1.
their attacks until the end of your next turn. And you have a cosmic dark deck.
Yes, but it's not the one that does the poison. But I could see that being potentially used some way, somehow.
Well, guys, it's up to you to determine who the winner of this pack battle is. This set is a lot of fun. If you guys have the opportunity to get your hands on some Hiroquest, it's a lot of fun to open. And if you guys have opened some Hiroquest, let us know in the comments below what your favorite pulls have been so far. From this group of 5 that I opened on camera with you guys today, I gotta say that the Wendigo here is hands down my best pull. You're going with the Babe?
Definitely the
Yeah.
babe for me, yeah.
Nice, yeah, the Babe's a solid one. Yeah, I like that one deadly just because Snipe is on it.
Yeah.
You get that one, and you got the sinkhole, too.
Yeah, Sinkhole's
Yeah,
pretty darn
Sinkhole's
cool.
dope. I even actually like that potion seller a lot, I'm not gonna lie. I think he's a lot cooler than the regular potion seller. Yeah, the little robot.
It's like the male
That guy's
version of
awesome.
Flatwoods.
That guy's awesome. So, with that, guys, like we said, let us know in the comments who you think won this pack battle. But yeah, I just had a lot of fun doing this. So, Ian, I'm going to come to you first. Anything you want to say before we just close out this episode? Because now that we are done opening these packs, this episode has come to its end.
Yeah, opening cards alone is never going to be the same. No, really, I really enjoyed. I know that the episode was more about deck building, but I really enjoyed doing a group opening.
Yeah, we
Very
definitely-
fun to play off each
definitely-
other and
definitely need to do this again. I'm thinking maybe with some pin club even we'll do this or something.
Right.
I know Deadly got his today. He's got more coming like tomorrow or Saturday. I got some coming. You already got yours, I think. So maybe we'll do this with some, maybe we'll do this with some pin club too, because this was a lot of fun. I agree. You know, everything in life is better with your friends. I feel like, you know.
Who you calling friend, pal?
I'm not your pal, guy.
Hey guys, let's just get along here.
Deadly, any last thoughts that you have? Anything you want to say on Hiroquest or anything like that? Or just anything you want to say before we close out?
Don't sleep on Hiroquest. There might be some secret cards in there. Not secret rares. Shouldn't use the word secret, but there could be some cards in there that really haven't revealed themselves yet to their playability. So I would keep your eye out on the new ones that have come out. Because yes, everybody loves these. Sorry, this is actually a new one. Everybody loves the OGs, the originals from Cryptid Nation, Nightfall. Everybody loves the common favorite ones, but it's the new cards that I'm more excited about. So I would take a look at those, read up on them, and come Friday and hang out and play with us.
Yeah. So yeah, well, on that note, guys, like I said, the episode is over, so I'm just going to do our closing announcements. And like Deadly just said, every Friday we have a Learn to Play event. So come hang out with us on Fridays. There'll be a link in the description down below with a link to the Play Network. And you can just look for Caster's Corner on the Play Network. And if you want to sign up and learn how to play and partake and play your deck in the Learn to Play event, you could sign up on the Play Network. If you just want to come and hang out, you can just enter in our Discord, come hang out in Gameplay 1 on Friday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern, and you can just hang out and learn to play. You feel free to interject, ask questions, and just watch us play games freely. Be sure you guys check out, Cryptid Nation News. That's the One-Eyed Crow's private channel where he does weekly updates on anything MetaZoo news related. He also does, MetaZoo hour updates as well. So whenever there's a MetaZoo hour, he'll release a video on those. And again, I just wanted to let everybody know that we are sponsored by Immortal Workshop, and that link will be in the description down below. So go check out Immortal Workshop, show him support. If you need any MetaZoo product, he's got it at great prices and quick delivery. So be sure to check him out. If you're not in our Discord yet, feel free to join. That link will be in the description. And if you guys have any suggestions for us, there is a tab in the Discord for suggestions on this podcast, and there's also a section for you guys to ask us any questions that you might want answered on the podcast. So again, guys, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in this week. I had a lot of fun talking about deck building. I had a lot of fun opening these packs with you guys. So with that, that's all I got for this week. So I really appreciate you guys, and have a good week. Peace.
Have a good one.
See you guys.